I'm Tom Whitwell, I'm the assistant editor of The Times, and I look after thetimes.co.uk.
Lovely. Now, obviously exciting times for you guys right now. It must be kind of coming out of the cave and showing the world what you've been up to all this time.
It has been nice to come out of that bunker, and there's been so much attention about the business model and about how we're doing paid content. We were quite kind of nervous when we actually revealed the site, because I was concerned that it would just be everyone still talking about that. It's been very nice to see people actually engaging with the site, understanding what we're doing in Times and on the Sunday Times site, and actually seeing that and reacting very, very well to that.
You mentioned feedback, and there has been a lot said about the whole model of paywalls. It must be hard not to get defensive sometimes and go, look, will you just let us get on with it and try it?
Well, it's not so much that, it's you do get a lot of times where people are saying things without actually having necessarily thought through the details of it. As I was talk about when people do these surveys and say 75% of people aren't going to pay for a website, you don't really know what that means, but that suggests that an awful lot of people will pay for a website.
Absolutely, because you ask people the question and immediately they go, well, I don't want to pay for something, but then you show them what they could get, and then their opinion will change. So hopefully over time that will happen.
And I think people have seen, if somebody said, well, there'll be an enormous market for apps to put on your mobile phone, people would have been baffled by that. The moment they see the apps that they use every day, they will immediately understand that there's a value for something that is worth paying for. And we saw that when we launched the iPad app, just when the UK iPad launched. We had an extraordinary reaction to that, and again, a very, very positive take-up. And that's an app that costs £10 for 30 days. And that, I think, again, would have been a sort of price point that people would have been outraged by 6 months ago, when The Guardian launched their Have All Our Journalism Forever for £2.39 app. But I think people understand that there is a real value to what we do, and that they are understanding that that can be paid for.
And you mentioned value, and during your presentation you said you're focusing very much on the user experience and making it a nice place to be, a nice website. You're not throwing adverts at people, adverts
Sure.
that intrude upon the page. That a different way of thinking.
I think everyone tries very hard to build a website that users are going to enjoy. But I think for us, we were able to really start with the reader in mind and say, what would we want, what would persuade this person once they've come to our site to actually feel like it's something they'd want to pay for. And once they're doing that, feel like something they want to come back to time and time again and get real value from.
What's the most exciting thing for you that the site's going to bring to the marketplace?
I don't know what the single most exciting thing is. I think the core of the site is its Times journalism in a new way. Fundamentally, that's what it does, and it feels like it's part of that heritage and it's part of that sort of tradition of excellence.
And one final question. A couple of times people were asking you for statistics and figures and stats. Obviously, very cagey to release those at the moment. How important is that to not put your cards down on the table this early in the proceedings?
At the moment, the stats we have are meaningless. At the moment we could tell you how many people are registered on the site. That's going to tell you very little about how many people are actually paying for the site. At some point in the future we will be discussing that, but it's something we're not going to do.